Welcome to Budget Friendly Nutrition. Today we're going to make a delicious minestrone soup using staple foods found at our mobile produce pantry and canned foods from Choice Pantry. All of the ingredients used in this soup today can be purchased using CalFresh in the grocery store or at the farmer's market. This soup highlights foods from all seasons, including fresh winter vegetables and canned summer produce. It's an easy, affordable one-pot meal that the whole family can enjoy. For this recipe, we're going to need 1 can of diced tomatoes, 1 can of beans, mixed or one variety, and 1 can of green beans or any fresh vegetable you'd like. For some base flavors, we're going to use onion and garlic, and we're going to use any root vegetables you'd like. I'm going to use potatoes and parsnips. For seasoning, I'm using fresh parsley and dried Italian seasoning, but you could use all fresh or all dried. Use whatever you have. Of course, some salt and pepper, and we'll also be using some celery and carrot for flavor and nutrients. We're going to prep all of our ingredients before we get cooking. So first, peel and chop the onion. Make sure you save all of your vegetable scraps from today's cooking project in the freezer to make scrap broth another time. If you haven't seen our veggie scrap broth video yet, we'll link it here and in the description so you can check it out later and learn how you can always have free veggie stock on hand. Now I like to chop my celery really finely, so I go lengthwise before chopping in the other direction to get small pieces. And now onto the carrots. Go ahead and cut off the ends and save those for broth as well. And then we're going to cut some of these lengthwise just so that the carrots are all similar thicknesses, which means they will then cook at about the same rate. Then just give them a rough chop. Now we can carefully smash and peel our garlic cloves. Now go ahead and chop your garlic finely, or you could use a garlic press or even a fine grater to do this. Now onto the root vegetables. I'm chopping the potatoes into chunky, bite-sized pieces. You're welcome to peel them or just scrub the skin and make sure it's clean and free of dirt if you're using the skins on. And for the parsnip, let's just peel the outside and then chop the entire thing to match about the same size of the potato pieces, as they'll cook at about the same rate. This does not need to be perfect by any means. You just don't want them varying widely in size, otherwise you'll end up with some pieces undercooked and others overcooked and mushy. Next, chop up any fresh herbs if you're using them. Now, last thing to prep, but certainly not least, is the canned foods. We're going to open up our beans, our tomatoes, and our green beans. Go ahead and drain the green beans, and then drain and also rinse the mixed beans. Now let's heat up our pot over medium heat, add in olive oil, and start with the base flavors of any good soup. We'll add in our onion, celery, carrots, and garlic all into the pot. I like to add a little bit of salt at this point, which helps break down the onions a bit quicker. Now add in the dried spices, crushing them in between the palms of your hand to release all the aromatics. And at the last minute, I decided to add in a couple bay leaves. Add them if you have them, otherwise you can skip this step. And then add in your root veggies. Then add in fresh herbs. And then add a little bit of sea salt and fresh black pepper if you have it. Now's a good time to pour in your veggie or chicken stock. Add in your diced tomatoes and give the soup a good stir. Now add in your beans, cover and cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. At this point, we can check to see if our root vegetables are cooked by pricking them with a fork and seeing if they are fork tender, which they are. Now we're going to add in our canned green beans or other fresh green vegetable that you're using. Adding the canned veggies or leafy greens in at the end ensures that they don't overcook, but we do want them to be in the soup for at least a few minutes to soak up some of that flavorful broth. Now season to taste with salt and pepper and more herbs if desired, and let the soup simmer for just another couple minutes. And before you know it, this super simple one-pot meal is already done. You can serve this right away as a main dish or as a side, and it's even better as leftovers. Enjoy!